What is going on, everyone? Dominic Echandia here, bringing you guys another video. I know I've been slacking on the content, guys, and I apologize about that, but I promise you there is plenty of content that is coming, so make sure that you hit that subscribe button so you don't miss a thing. And today we are going to be cleaning my intake, and so I figured it'd be a good video to make and give you guys a little update as well on the car. My neighbors are away and they asked me to water their plants, so I'm gonna do that, and I'll give you guys a little bit of an update on what we got going on with the car, where it's been, why I haven't been making some content aside from being busy as heck. Gotta give these plants some love. So, where has the car been? I brought it to Crazy House a few weeks ago to get the rattling fix that was from the hanger, from the exhaust hanger, and get some new exhaust clamps because the other ones were a little bit shot, so I replaced them. And got the car back, and the same day I got it back, the car says check charging system, but it was intermittent. So the check charging system was intermittent. The traction control lights kept coming on and off intermittently, and when I would drive, I would plug the phone in, played a little music. If I gave it a little bit of acceleration, the volume went down and would like kind of crackle, and it was very odd, but obviously something to do with power, right? So brought it back to Crazy House. They look at everything that we could think of. We checked the battery cables, we checked the battery, we checked the alternator, we checked the battery cables, certain terminals. Like we went over everything. I went over some stuff, they went over some stuff, and we couldn't find anything. I even brought it to Advance Auto before that, had them check the battery and the alternator, and they said it tested good. So my last resort was Ford, and I posted something in a Facebook group and was like, hey, like, does anybody have an idea? And I got so many responses of so many different things that I couldn't even narrow it down. So at this point, I brought it to Ford. Ford had to untune the car, diagnose it. Turns out it was the alternator. The alternator was bad. I guess because of the tune, it wasn't necessarily showing that. Ford had not replaced the alternator once, not twice, but 3 times before they had a good alternator, because apparently they're getting bad alternators in. And so by the 3rd alternator, one of the fuses blew. I don't remember the exact fuse, but one of the fuses blew, and they replaced it for me. So long story short, the car was down for a little bit. It's back. We're good to go. So now I'm kind of doing some upkeep. I did an oil change on the car. We finally picked up the engine cover for underneath, so I'll be putting that on this week. And I figured while I'm at it, let's re-oil and clean the intake. So that's what we're going to be doing today. I figured give you guys an update, but also kind of show you how to do this. I know there's a couple videos out there, but I'm going to make my own version. So enough talking, I'm going to get into it. I drove the car to the gym. That's where I got back from. That's why I got a tank top on. I swear I'm not trying to show my muscles. I just got back from, oh no, you know, looking pretty juicy today. So all right, so there's this is kind of a couple steps process. I'm going to be doing this over the course of 2 days. You can do it over the course of 1 day if you start earlier in the day, but you are going to have to let the intake dry after you actually clean it and then re-oil it. So this is gonna be a 2-day process, obviously 1 video, 2 days. But we have a K&N Power Clean with a K and 2 E's. L-L-L-E. There's a number of different ones. I have a JLT intake, and I did buy their kit at one point. The oil I have is from them that we're gonna be using. However, this is what I bought off the shelf because my other bottle was empty or broken or something. But anyway, got another bottle. And then you're gonna need to obviously take the intake off. I'm gonna tell you something real quick. I don't have a whole lot of tools, as many as I wish I did. But I bought this set for 15 bucks like 3 or 4 years ago. This has been the best thing that I ever bought. I am eventually gonna get a wrench set and some other stuff. I'm very fortunate where if I don't have the tool on hand in my garage or in my house, I have a maintenance shop at my job that I can use some of the tools and borrow, which is really cool. So this one here is the mass airflow sensor. See this mass airflow sensor, you're gonna need an Allen key. So the Allen key, there's 1, 2 down here. Be very careful with this. This is a very sensitive piece of the intake. You wanna make sure that when you put this out of the way that it's in a good spot when you take this off. And then there's 1 bolt that's gonna come off here that's gonna allow us to pull this right off. And there is your mass airflow sensor. Pull your cover off. Little clip here, right here. You're gonna pull that right off, pop it right to the side. And then 8 mils here. Got your throttle body here. I just wanted to make sure the throttle body was clean. I did actually clean it recently. I might have tightened it a little too much. It's a little bent here, but I mean, it's not the end of the world. It still fits in and still clamps really well. But might be time for a new intake soon. Anywho, all right, we're gonna clean this one. So let me pull this off. Again, 8 mil, you're gonna pull it right off of here. And we'll clean it. And what you're gonna wanna do is bang it out a little bit, just get some of the debris out. You could do this 1 of 2 ways. You can either spray it before you rinse, then spray. I'm gonna spray it while it's dry. You're gonna spray the outside. Now you're gonna spray the inside. You're also gonna spray the bottom. Essentially, we're gonna let it sit for 5 minutes. We are going to rinse it, check it out, see if we need to repeat, go from there. All right, so it's been about 5 minutes. We're gonna go ahead and rinse it. Now the key here is rinse from inside outward first, okay? You're gonna rinse from inside outward first. That way all the debris and anything that's on the outside here primarily is gonna go out. Again, I recommend doing this in some type of grass area, not so much a concrete, because you're dealing with oils primarily, and that's going to come out as you're, rinsing it off. So now I'm looking inside, I see, I saw a couple red spots still, some that were a little bit darker, because at this point, when you look at the actual filter itself, before mine was dark red, because I use a darker red oil, it's definitely a lot more clear now. So you can kind of look through and see where it may need to be rinsed a little bit more. Tomorrow after it dries, essentially what you're gonna wanna do is you're gonna put this, somewhere safe that's not in obviously a dirty element, and let it dry. And usually they recommend overnight. That's what I'm going to be doing. I have done it in one day where I started it in the morning and then re-oiled it at night, had it back on the car and was driving it that night. Again, either way is fine as long as it is completely dry, okay? I've even used a blow dryer to help expedite the process. You can do that too. Again, tonight I'm gonna be letting it dry, and then tomorrow we'll start the oiling process.
A few moments later.
We are going to be re-oiling the filter. It is now completely dry, so I'm gonna show you guys how to do that. And then I also have a couple other things going on with the car. I am hoping that I can get this chin spoiler put back on today. There's a one part, if you looked closely in the last video, that goes right here. I'm gonna try and super glue. I am going to try and super glue that part back onto the chin spoiler. The other thing I'm going to be doing, this box here is actually a heat gun. Earlier in the video, if you looked at the intake tube, you saw that there's like a kink or like a bend on the part that touches the throttle body. I am going to try and see if I can very delicately and very carefully kind of put that back into place so that's a nice circular shape. So enough yapping, let me get into it. When you order the kit from JLT, they give you a filler, something like this, and a thing of oil to put the oil inside here so that you can use this to usually measure out how much oil you need. There's like a specific amount. Honestly, I realize that doesn't make a difference whatsoever in terms of when you're actually oiling the filter. You're gonna just kind of look for it, at least I do. And so I go through each of the actual rivets like the outside of the rivets, not the inside of the rivets, the outside here. And I just, one by one, give it a little love. I like to see color all the way down it because I don't oil my filter that often. I like to give it, you don't want to over oil it, but you don't want to under oil it. I like to give a full coat all the way across. I don't want to see any light spots like this. I want to give a full coat. And as you're kind of circling down, it's going to seep into the rivet. So don't worry about trying to get on the insides there. It is going, if you do a full coat like that all the way across, it'll get into the rivet. And then you just go through, you do each one on the outside here, you do the ones on the inside here. Essentially you want to let it dry. It doesn't take too long to dry. You want to let it dry for a little bit, maybe a half hour or so. That's kind of why I brought out the chin spiller. I figured I'd kill some time, 2 birds, 1 stone. So anyway, I'm gonna get to it. All right, so we got the whole outside completely oiled up. It's looking really good, really good. And like I mentioned, didn't have to worry about the insides because it is all seeping in there. And then obviously as you start the motor and you start to use the actual intake itself, it'll kind of soak some of that up really deep into those rivets. Do it, and now we're just gonna let it dry and on to the next task. I was passing by to grab some tools out of the car. Dude, look at this. Look at this engine bay, bro. I know the cover's off, but just like, oh yeah. You know what it needs though? It just needs some love and tender care. And a big, juicy kiss. No, Dominic, no. You can't do that. Can't be kissing your car and stuff. Gotta talk myself out of some crazy ideas sometimes, you know? Like buying a supercharger. That's solid. Highly recommend. Wow. It's pretty cool. All right, well, that's back on. All right, so now we got the heat gun. As you can see, here's that kink. I'm gonna try and see if we can. Sweet. Look at that. Looks way better. Way better than it did before. Cool, we'll let that cool down, and that's one thing off the list. All right, now it's just time to pop this back into place. Guys, I'm gonna be 100% honest with you. I absolutely love making content. This is hands down one of my favorite things to do. It's been a while since I've been able to get my hands dirty with this car, and it feels really good to be back. So do me a favor, make sure you hit that like button. Make sure if you're not subscribed that you do subscribe to the channel. There is more content coming, I promise that. It's, you know, again, just life, getting busy, the car being away, but I have the car, and now we're doing all these touches to it, and I'm so excited. So, all right, so I brought the car down to the garage. That way we can put the chin spoiler on. So I'm gonna go ahead and bang that out. How's it going over there, babe?
Good. I got the box open.
Got the box open.
Progress, right?
Where's Nigel at?
Right back here.
We got Nigel coming to help us out. What's bueno, amigo? Yo, look at this. Look at Nigel's little Tacoma. Shit's clean. Love this color. It's got them gold wheels. The matched cab. Thing looks money. It's helping Emily put the rock sliders on the Jeep. Little update on the Jeep. So we did the bed cover. We got a WeatherTech bed cover put on the Jeep. And then we had the whole bed Rhino liner sprayed, whatever the hell you call it. So now we're gonna get the rock sliders put on, And then next is tint.
Yeah, I think it looks right. Right?
I think it looks money. I think it looks awesome.
It does look right.
It's a little dark out, but we got, let's see if I can give us some light. No more front plate. We got the chin spooler back on. The engine cover's good. Thing is looking good. Yeah, buddy. I'm in my dark ass garage right now. It got dark outside. But that's gonna wrap up today's video. Thank you for tuning back in. Again, make sure you like, subscribe, comment, and we'll see you in the next one. Peace!